Hey guys, welcome back to another garden update. It's the last day of June, and this past week we've had some terrific weather. We had some rain earlier in the week, and then after that it's been plus 30s almost every day. So the plants are absolutely taking off. We'll take a quick look at all the garden beds. In terms of the landscaping, we got a little bit of work done. I ended up setting up the rain barrels and the shed. Now hopefully in the next week we can get some grass down, or at least some grass seed down, so we can clean up this this big mud puddle that we have every time it rains. But let's take a look at the garden and see how everything's going. So like I said, all the tomato plants are doing quite well. Flowers are on. Fruit will be coming shortly. All I have to do is go through and tie them up. I've been saying I have to do that for the last few weeks, but it's now or never. So I'm gonna go through this bed and tie up all these tomatoes and take off all the suckers, and hopefully by next week we'll see some fruit starting to set. And again, in the asparagus bed, just have to go through and weed this bed. These plants are done for the year, just letting them leaf out, produce energy for the root system for next year. Again, it is quite impressive. They're probably about 8 feet tall right now. I think that's about as high as they're gonna get. And the beans are slowly starting. They'll be hopefully crawling up the poles by next week. They are a little bit behind schedule. Normally they're about a third of the way up the pole at this time, but that's all right. Peas have definitely grown up. They look dramatically different from last week. Again, I've done very little weeding here. Peas are taken care of, choking out all the unwanted plants. There's a few weeds around the edges that I have to go and take out. But they are starting to flower. So we should get a good crop of peas this year. Again, taking a quick look down the broccoli and Brussels sprout bed. These plants have really taken off. They really enjoyed the warm weather last week. Now when we first put them in, it may have looked like it was a bit inefficient planting them at 1 foot spacing, but you can see as these plants grow up, they really fill out the entire bed. And again, at this point, there's no need to weed. The weed guard coupled with the ground cover provided by the leaves from these plants just makes it unnecessary. No weeds actually grow in this bed, so they'll stay here, and this bed will be virtually maintenance free until harvest time. Now the onions are slowly coming along. Not sure what to make of it, but the tips of the leaves do seem to be yellowing out. I'm not sure what it is. I gave them a good soaking yesterday. Not sure that it's actually fixed anything. I don't know. I've never actually run into this problem, but we'll see what happens. I'll keep watering them, and hopefully they pull through. And further down the onion bed, the celery don't seem to be doing too much. I think they need a lot more water than I've been giving them. Carrots are slowly coming up. They are really far behind compared to last year. They're just starting to put out their first set of true leaves. Hopefully we get something out of them. I don't know, like I said, last year they were a lot further along, but we'll see what happens. Now in this bed, the spinach is all bolted. Again, we got those 30-degree temperatures. 2 or 3 days of that and the spinach will bolt. So we'll be pulling that out today, getting our last harvest. We've been harvesting the spinach for about 2 weeks now, and it's been really good. But its time has finally come, so we'll yank it all out. I'm not sure what I'm going to put there. I'll try and get some lettuce planted just to keep using the space. Kale's coming along. Swiss chard is slowly growing up, and our cauliflower is slowly coming along. So in the other 12 by 12 bed, the spaghetti squash are starting to vine out, so I'll be directing them outside of the bed, otherwise they'll just take over this space. The butternuts are having trouble getting going. I'm not exactly sure. Hopefully they pull through, but they do seem to be having a little trouble getting started. Cucumbers again. One side are pickling cucumbers, the other side are just regular cucumbers, regular slicing cucumbers. First true leaves are coming out. Those two plants are starting to vine. Again, later than last year, but we'll see what kind of harvest we get. Watermelons and cantaloupe are doing about as I expect. Again, I never really have much success with these plants, but we keep trying. Zucchini are doing all right. Coming right along. They should start taking off pretty soon. Once they get established, they really they can really grow very quickly. And again, last two tomato plants, just extras that I had. They're doing all right. The blueberry plants are doing well, putting on a lot of new growth. Again, these are fairly young plants, so they do need a couple years to get fully mature. But even so, they're still producing blueberries. Should be able to harvest some in the next few weeks. And our strawberry plants are doing well. Now that the deer aren't chewing on them, they are growing right along. And again, as these plants mature, they'll cover most of this bed. And at the end, those 4 pepper plants, not doing great. They should be a lot taller than they are now. We'll see what happens. And further down, just leftover broccoli and cauliflower plants. Again, that's the bed where the pepper plants were. Pulled them out because the frost damage, they weren't going to grow. And we just plunked in random plants that we had. Okay, that's it. Just a quick tour this week. I've got a few days off work, so hopefully over the next week I can get the grass down on the one side of the bed and finish off the landscaping. All I have to do for the path is just put a little bit more crusher fines down. So that'll be nice, get that job out of the way and finished. All right, see you next week.